Texas, Chip Roy. I yield him 4 minutes.
The gentleman from Texas is recognized for 4 minutes.
Thank the Speaker. I thank my friend from Pennsylvania. The gentleman from California talked about the extent to which the process is bad and that we can do better. Well, I'm glad that he agrees with that. The question is, well, let's agree right now to amend the CR to March. Why don't we do that? Why don't we agree right now to amend the continuing resolution until March? Well, we know why my Democratic colleagues don't want to do that, right? Because they don't want to have a full-throated debate on this. They don't want to have an actual discussion. Why don't we have an open process? Why don't we actually have amendments here on the floor of the House? We haven't been able to offer an amendment on the floor of the House of Representatives since May of 2016. But the gentleman from California knows this. My colleagues on the other side of the aisle know this. This isn't about actually saying let's have a process that works. It's the opposite. It's using Christmas and the end of the year to jam this through, not to buy time with a 1-week CR so we can negotiate. Who's negotiating? 3 people in a room? Right? I mean, we're not. We're not debating this on the floor. We're not going to do it in the light of day. There's not going to be. No, what's going to happen is one big bill will be dropped on the floor after this rule is jammed through on the 23rd of December, 2 days before Christmas, intentionally right before Christmas, in order to force everybody to come in with no amendments and vote up or down on $1.7 trillion. How on earth do we end up $32 trillion in debt? That's how. And there's no actual resolve to do anything about that. Again, control of the House of Representatives has shifted from one party to the other 5 times since 1954. And in none of those years have we had the outgoing Congress pass a comprehensive spending bill in the lame duck, that is, after the election. We shouldn't do it now. We shouldn't do it in the future. And one last point. If there's a debate in the Senate right now, and if some of our Senate colleagues decide to object to the continuing resolution, which I would support, which would then call into question the funding on Saturday when we wake up, let's be very clear that it is Democrats who would be risking shutting down the government because they are so married to funding the alphabet soup of the bureaucracy throughout this town that is strangling the American people, strangling prosperity, spending money we don't have, refusing to secure the border, empowering FBI agents to go after the American people. Those are the priorities of my Democratic colleagues. So if there's any debate on Saturday as to whether the lights are going to be turned on in the government, it is on the hands of Democrats married to a bureaucracy rather than standing up in defense of the American people who send us here. I yield back.